this life. We know that it's temporary. We know that. We know that, we must fall asleep. We must die. We must shed this outer shell, this husk. And then, we realize what it's truly all about, that the invisible is real and it's very powerful. The air that we breathe, within 5 minutes or so of stopping breathing this invisible substance that we can't feel or touch, that's all around us, we'd be dead in 5 minutes. Same with gravity or magnetism. There's so many things, all these radio waves that are in the air. The air is filled with, it's a soup of different invisible forces that are super powerful. So again, we've got to trust in somebody. We've got to trust the testimonials of the people that wrote the history books, the people that wrote the Bible. We've got to trust that there's some semblance of accuracy here. And, the same holds true for God. We've got to believe that fundamentally God's a good God and has given us everything we need. If we just trust God, we can provide all our needs according to His riches and glory. And, we've got to trust that when the earth is populated to His satisfaction, then He simply pulls the fertility. Other than that, do what is written in the beginning of the Bible. Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. Nobody did anything wrong to have children. Can you imagine what that's like believing? How depressing that is? That's a demonic spirit of Satan that's upon anybody that believes the earth is overpopulated 1 iota. 1 iota. Okay, that you're sharing that same demonic spirit. That is where this whole survival of the fittest, this social Darwinism comes in there. That's the justification. That's the rationalization for it. Is that. And you've got to say, do I trust God or don't I trust God? And just do what He said. Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. And you didn't do anything wrong. That's like believing that, I was a mistake, that this is, that my whole presence on earth is a bad thing, that I'm harming the earth or that you are. I mean, it gets very personal, and then, it makes it evil to have children. I mean, it's absurd. Leave it to God. So that's all I'm saying is, look, if you can say, look, He's right. I can figure out that we could have abundance on the earth. We don't have to wreck the earth. We could release all that clean, renewable, infinite technology that exists. And the reason that it's being suppressed is because of money. Money, the patents. It's all about money. You start solving problems, you're stepping on toes. And sound currency would solve all humanity's problems. Sound currency would simply be a means to an end. So, yes, it's money in the traditional sense. Currency, by definition, is money. But you understand, it's only money for a temporary period. Because what would happen is gradually everybody would realize prosperity across the board. Everybody out there. Okay? It's simple as that. You'd have a work week that was in continual decline until a point that it was just, we were just hoping for more work to do because things would be so easy. We'd have to find ways to enjoy our free time. So that would be our biggest challenge at a point when we're living on this earth the way God intended us to be totally free, to be under no yoke of oppression from an evil gaggle of thugs. Okay? Basically, that's the spirit of Satan. And the way that we're under that yoke is through the money, unsound currency. And it's, I don't want to get into the whole, price fixing thing, but this is how it works. There's no more supply and demand. You could supply 1 billion times more housing in the country, and your price could still go up. Now, how is that, supply and demand, at all? It's not. That exemplifies the problem. That is when you've got price fixing. It's the opposite of capitalism. It's not communism. It's not socialism. It may be socialism for the ultra wealthy, yes, because things keep going that direction. And I listened on the news, and recently I saw that they're saying, oh, the economy is improving, and they're pointing to all these, statistics where, jobs are, job opportunities are increasing and all this stuff. And I think, you know what? These people either they don't know what the hell they're talking about, or, they're lying. It's one or the other. But, the fact is, the disparity continues to grow. As long as you see poverty increasing, and the evidence for that is home ownership decreasing. Okay, San Francisco did not get to be 15% total home ownership or less today overnight. This happened over a long period of time. It happened under the watch of Democrats and Republicans, because the last president that understood sound currency was JFK. But you see, the reason that these top people are so opposed to sound currency is that they can see the end from the beginning, and they don't want people to be free. If you were free, you'd be free, of course, from them and their reign of terror. They would have no effect, no power over you if you didn't trust in their product, in their method of operation, in their money, as unsound as it is, and how baseless it is, because if it's not based on supply and demand, it doesn't matter how good the workers do. If we're still going to get poorer, okay, well, what's the hope? I mean, you take away a person's hope, you know, they're disheartened. It's no fun to go to work anymore, okay? But here's why they're so opposed to it. Listen, you end poverty, just as simple as that, through sound currency. So this gradual, eventual state of being would be prosperity across the board. Poverty is no more. Debt is no more. Right there. Do you think they like the idea of individuals or nations being out of debt? Of course they don't like the idea of that, because this is how they keep a stranglehold on the public. This is their method of operation. Do you think you'd have the wars that you have because people are needy? What do they need? They need money. They needed the advantage. You know, everybody's trying to get one up, step up. Why do you think people get a higher education? Higher education is like a buy-in system, okay? Why? What is this credentials? Where's this, oh, great credential God that hands this stuff out? You know, why they say, oh, we value this curriculum, but, you know, this ethics, and, you know, this means nothing to us, okay? It's dog eat dog. You know, it's a rat race. It's social Darwinism, you know, right there for you. So, you know, this is what it's all about. It's just all about money, okay? The whole educational system. Think of all the people whose toes you'd step on if you started ending the problem. Crime. Crime would nearly vanish overnight if you ended poverty. Dirty fuel. Okay, is it in the interest of the dirty fuel companies to have clean fuel? No, it isn't. Okay? How about the insurance companies? Okay, you know, if everybody's just being responsible on their own, letting their conscience be their guide and things like common sense, I mean, you know, getting into an accident is something you're not supposed to do. And the idea that in your mind, oh, well, I'm insured if anything happens, you see what I mean? It makes you less safe. Let's look at drug use. People using drugs, well, they want the drugs because it's taboo. You're not supposed to do it, and this makes the drugs much more alluring, attractive, and enticing to them, because they want to be misfits. They see that the system is evil. They see that it's totally unjust, totally unfair, the game is totally rigged, you know, and they say, this is my way. I don't care who knows that I'm a drug addict. They say, you know, because good. Because screw them, you know what I mean? I mean, that's the attitude that's prevailing, because people feel rebellious. So in a sense, they're latching onto that spirit of Satan to that degree. Any addictions are like that. And we have a million and one different addictions. I mean, you got retail therapy, entertainment addictions, sex addictions. It goes on and on and on, the ways we find to escape from this system that we know instinctively, inherently, we know is rigged, is wicked. And we want a way out, and we need to at least do something, you know, to whatever gets us through the night sort of attitude. But, you know, we've got to say we understand at least the cause, why we're feeling that way. Be able to put your finger on it, because you've been manipulated to feel that way. Your paradigm, your reality, has been manipulated. That's it. There's no better word for it. And not just in one area, but in an entire array. And so we've all been taught that we should trust this system, that somehow it's got to make sense, because, you know, this has been the history of humanity for so long. We can't imagine. How would a world without money work? How would it work if everybody on earth was prosperous and everybody served one another of their own free will, of their own free accord? Would it really work, or would people stop working? I say, look at the facts. Look at people involuntary. Go to your local soup kitchen and see. People instinctively want to be wanted. They want to be appreciated. And even with being paid money and for security, people don't quit their job at the car factory because they are lazy, because they're tired of going to work. They love their jobs. This is the case often, you know, throughout the entire, you know, trade world. is that people enjoy engaging in the talents that God has given them, to go and to be loved. I mean, that's what it is. When you do something nice for somebody, you get a very good feeling because they appreciate you for no ulterior motive. It's not like money's going to have to be exchanged. It's like there's so much of everything for everybody. We can live freely on this beautiful planet that God has bestowed upon us and do whatever we want at any given time we want and not mess up the planet. Not worry about insufficient amounts of water, not worry about insufficient amount of food or shelter or clothing or energy or air. Nothing. That's the world that God wants us to have. And that's all I do with my videos, is I try to convince people that that's the world that you should want. You should have the same mind as God, be on the same page, have the same desire for humanity, and cut through all the crap and say, wait, I can see for miles and miles, like that song by The Who. I could see the end from the beginning. And I see if we allow you guys to have your way, okay, we'd have nothing but ongoing bloodshed, misery, discontent, suffering worldwide. Because that's what you're into, man. That's what floats your boat. That's what gets you through the night. That's what gives you your kicks, and it's very sick and twisted. And someday you will answer. And you're going to that place down below, that special place prepared for you. Okay? And there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. You're the hypocrites. You're the people that believe in a double standard, that you somehow are more important than other human beings, the commoners, if you will, because they weren't born into being mega wealthy like the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, the Bushes or Clintons or whoever it may be out there. Okay, because the list is fairly long and some would say fairly short. So that's why you want to jump ship from these people. We want as few people to go to hell as possible. So everybody out there that's on the fence in between, and you haven't decided, that you're not going to serve the system, you're not going to serve the establishment, because it is the beast system. It is run by wicked people that don't have good things in mind for humanity. They're haters of humanity. They're haters of God and good, because that means they are irrelevant. Okay, when you turn and you give your power to the rightful one, okay, you're taking power away from them, and they're dissipating, and they're getting diluted. Okay, and they're falling, they're getting weak, and they know. So they're very dangerous and desperate too, because they're conniving, they're cunning, they're diabolical. Okay, they're evil geniuses. Okay, and they are going to pull everything they can out of their arsenal. They're going to fight to the bitter end to keep their lot and control of this world through money printing. This is exactly how they do it. Think about it, folks. They do absolutely nothing for you and me, for humanity. All they do is sit there and print money and accept the printed money and whore themselves out for that privilege of getting all the printed money they want. Because they know that power is great in this world. Think about it. All the goods, all the services they want at any time they want. That's how these people roll. So this is literally like Jesus going to the mountaintop, following the devil up to the mountain, and the devil tempting Jesus. Look, you bow down and worship me, and I'll give you all that. It's as if these people actually took it. They said, okay, all I got to do is worship Satan and just be evil. So just understand, all you people that are on the fence in between, not sure if what side you're going to be on, you just think long and hard about what I'm saying here, because there's only two sides, and you better be clear. And it's not about answering to me or anybody else human. It's about answering to your own conscience, your own heart, your mind, your spirit. Is your heart pure? Do you want God's will to be done? And if you're not sure, you ask God. You say, God, help me. I want to jump ship. I want to repent. I don't want to perish and go hang out with the hypocrites where they're weeping and gnashing of teeth and talk about misery. They're going to get it in spades. They're going to get the suffering and the misery because of what they've brought onto humanity. You don't want to be a part of that. Then say, God, help me. Reveal to me where I'm evil, where my heart is impure, and purify it. Because I want to go to a better world. I want my kids to have a better world. I want them to be free. I want to know what that means. How have I been bound? How am I bound now? What is this prison planet I've been born hostage on? How are they doing this? How is it I have a cost of living, but, my cost of living is a burden to me, but it's a benefit to him? Who created this very divisive paradigm that we live in, where high price for this commodity is good for this guy? So, I can't say that it's bad for somebody else. I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole thing is absurd. We've got to understand the absurdity